The Seattle Mariners could shock Major League Baseball. Let's talk about it. So yesterday night, I was casually watching MLB Network, and I heard Joel Sherman basically say that the Seattle Mariners and the Atlanta Braves should have a very serious discussion about making a trade for Ronald Acuña Jr. So per usual, I decided to put this over on X, as you can see by the screenshot on your screen. And he basically said that the Braves need to reset a little bit, with the Mariners having 9 of the top 100 prospects, it should definitely be a conversation. And this was not the only person to bring it up last night. Yonder Alonzo also brought it up on MLB Tonight that it should definitely be something that is a consideration. So a lot of people had a lot of arguing to do over on X on that. Yes, the Mariners should definitely do it. Some Braves fans came in and said there's no way the Braves even consider doing this. And one thing Joel Sherman actually did also say, on top of saying that they should talk about Ronald Acuña Jr., that is, if Chris Sale was healthy, he thinks that they should throw him into the mix as well. So let me give you a little bit of an overview of what Joel Sherman was talking about and his reasoning for saying that this conversation should be had. So starting with, as we know, the Braves are not having a great season in 2025, and honestly, it is looking to be a struggle if they are even going to make it to the playoffs in the first place, with all the injuries they have, as well as guys such as Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris trending in the wrong direction. They put up their stats on the screen last night. I think Michael Harris has like a 51 WRC plus and Albies has a 76, which is obviously not going to help an already struggling team. So Sherman basically referred to this as almost the Braves should kind of consider doing not a rebuild, but almost just kind of doing what the Nationals did with Juan Soto. They won their ring in 2019 with Juan Soto as part of the team, and then they ended up trading him away to the Padres for about a year and a half that the Padres had him. And in the process of this trade, as we know, the Washington Nationals have some studs on their team that were all acquired from the Juan Soto trade. So this isn't new news to anybody that the Nationals got a steal of a deal out of this trade, but as you can see with the screenshot on your screen, this was essentially the trade between the Padres and the Nationals, where the Nationals got CJ Abrams, James Wood, and Mackenzie Gore as the 3 standouts, who are all 3 massive pieces to their team today. And oddly enough, Josh Bell, who was part of this trade, is actually a National again this year. So Sherman was basically putting the pieces together that with the most recent prospect rankings, that the Seattle Mariners have 9 of the top 100. So while yes, this could be extremely risky for the Seattle Mariners for 2 main reasons that I'm going to discuss in a minute, but basically the deal was that he thinks that the Mariners should give up some of those prospects. The Braves get a prospect haul in return for about 3.5 years of Ronald Acuña before he becomes a free agent. Now, reason number 1 why this could be risky, I mean, for both teams, this is very risky. From a Braves standpoint, you're talking about trading away the face of your organization. But then again, the Nationals did do that when they saw that they weren't going to have a chance to make the playoffs or even have a chance to possibly contend for a World Series, and they ended up getting 3 core pieces of their team today. And that was what Sherman was kind of referring to in the sense of the Braves should not rebuild, but find some prospects. And as we know, the Mariners have a lot of them that have the potential to be pretty big stars in the future. But this is risky for the Seattle Mariners as well. For one, they would be trading away some pretty big names, I'm sure, to even be able to pull off a trade like this, which is a risk. I'm not a big fan of the whole prospect hugging. I'm a big fan that I believe at the deadline this year, no matter who they go out and try to acquire, that they should try to sell away some of this farm system to get some players that can really, really help this lineup. But reason number 2, while this is extremely risky for the Seattle Mariners, but also on the flip side, it is risky for the Braves to keep Acuña for this reason as well, is just the known injury history that we have seen. Ronald Acuña does have a very extensive injury history, which has held him out, as we know, basically the entire 2024 season, and he did miss a portion to start this season. So that is a risk from both sides, whether the Braves keep him and decide to use the next 3.5 years and make him, maybe extend him to a major deal. Either way, there's a risk for both teams at the fact that Ronald Acuña Jr. will not and cannot stay on the field. Now, from a Mariners fan standpoint, yes, obviously I'm a huge fan of this. Now, if I think you have to give up all 9 prospects to get him, I don't think it's worth it. But if you can somehow work out a deal with maybe some major league guys mixed in, as well as maybe 3 of some of our top prospects that there is, it's kind of the risk you have to take. I do think that this is worth it. If you add this name to the lineup, the Mariners lineup becomes increasingly scary. Now, on the flip side of that, which is something that we obviously want to discuss, is the reality of this happening. There is probably a very minimal chance that this even happens and that the Braves even entertain this. Obviously, Ronald Acuña is the face of their franchise and has been one of the best players in the sport for a pretty long time now. But again, it's what they see. What does their future look like? Do they think that they are a contender in these next few years? Or do they think they kind of need to take a few steps back, build up the farm a little bit more, build up with young stars? They're guys that have the potential to be young stars, very similar to what the Nationals do. are doing. So while I'm sure there's some fans out there that are going to watch this video and be very frustrated and say this is so unrealistic, why are we having this conversation? It's because it's baseball. The trade deadline's coming up. There's a lot of conversations to be had, a lot of rumors that are going to be thrown around, like the Mariners somehow potentially being interested in getting Alex Bregman, which I don't know why they shouldn't pursue him in the first place. But nonetheless, there's going to be a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation, a lot of conversations that can happen. But I really think this is the trade deadline that the Seattle Mariners need to trade some of their farm system to get some legitimate bats to help this lineup and make this lineup a playoff team. But either way, even if you are angry at this video or just are very curious to see what the conversation has been, let me know what your thoughts are and if you even think that this is remotely possible and maybe even some projected trades. What would a trade like this for you if you're the Braves? What would you want it to look like? Or if you're the Mariners, who would you be willing to give up? Otherwise, I hope you guys did enjoy the video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.